So this is Melinda Roy. So before you start your presentation, I would like to invite you to the audience. Can you hear me?
You'd like to invite me to?
Yeah, I would like to invite, I would like to give a brief introduction about you to the audience. Okay.
Okay,
So, welcome on stage Jennifer Yagos. Jennifer Yagos has dedicated several decades to the holistic healthcare field as a movement specialist, distance healing practitioner, and health coach. She has guided hundreds of individuals in elevating physical pain, emotional distress, and enhancing overall well-being. Jennifer is known for her expertise in the mind body connection, which she believes is key to deep healing, personal growth, and lasting transformation. Her work continues to inspire those seeking holistic methods to improve health. She stays up to date on the latest studies and techniques for promoting optimal health and uses this knowledge to inform her practice. She is passionate about sharing this information with others through one on one sessions, workshops, and online resources. Thank you so much. Yes, and you can occupy the stage.
great. Thank you so much. Hi, so I'm Jennifer Yegas, and I help people rewire their brain to elevate their mental and physical well-being. Now, you might be wondering, what is she talking about? Rewire my brain? Are you imagining like a cap of wires on your head or wires in your brain? There's so many things that people can do with the brain right now. No, that's actually not it. What I'm talking about is movement, specifically gentle, guided, mindful movement done with awareness and intention. So, movement can be helpful for mental and physical health. So, we all know that movement is recommended to help us when we have physical pain, lower back pain, joint pain, and it does help with that. But movement can also help with emotional pain, with stress management. It can elevate someone's mental health. I've seen it with hundreds of my clients. And as I said, I'm really specifically talking about a specific kind of movement, which I'll get more into as we go along. We'll do some demos. So talking about mental health, there's a wide range of mental health disorders, depression, schizophrenia, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. There's actually over 200 mental health diagnoses, so I won't bother mentioning all of them. According to the Cleveland Clinic, 1 in 5 adults and adolescents have been diagnosed with a mental health disorder. So the most common of those being anxiety and depression, as far as the diagnoses are concerned. So, it makes you wonder, how are those 1 in 5 people being helped? What are they being treated with? How are they finding solutions? The number one treatment is medication. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. The next thing is psychotherapy or a combination. And sometimes people get a lot of results from that. But not always, not always. So I'm here to talk about a method that's often overlooked. It's a method that combines movement with visualization and mindset. So, along the lines of mental health, we all know that stress can affect our well-being, our mental health. Stress can build up in our body. It can change how we feel physically as well as mentally. It can take a toll on our nervous system. Speaking of the nervous system, we have 2 branches of the nervous system: the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight system, where you see the tiger or the bear while you're out hiking, and your blood pressure goes up, and there's that kind of stress response, which can be helpful in that case, but we don't want to be there all the time. And the other part of the nervous system, the parasympathetic, that's the rest and digest system, right? So you've had a meal, you're resting, you're digesting, you're coming down into a more calm state. We all know in our fast-paced world, often stressful world, many of us spend too much time in that fight or flight mode. So what I do is I help my clients counteract the fight or flight mode. I help them to spend more time in the rest and digest mode. I help them to move into a state of relaxation and recovery where true healing can occur, whether it's mental or physical. To do that, I guide them through the gentle, mindful movements to rewire their brain. So they're not just moving their body, they're retraining their nervous system. The method teaches their bodies how to relax, how to feel safe, how to let go, so that healing can take place. So take a moment, notice imagining your body as a storage unit. So imagine your body as a storage unit. Every experience, every emotion that you've had is getting filed away in that storage unit. And sometimes those files are easily accessible. Other times they get caught up in the corners or tucked away and you can't really find them easily. Maybe you'll trip over one every now and then when you're fumbling around or come across one, but they can also stay hidden. So this is true for traumatic experiences or chronic stress. They can get stuck in our body, these conditions, the chronic stress and emotional trauma. And in an attempt to protect ourselves, or even an attempt of, or in a moment of confusion, our body traps that, has the potential to trap that within our system. So our nervous system is thrown off kilter, leading to tension, to pain, emotional distress, and even disconnection from certain parts of our bodies. So, of course, this is when our mental health can become compromised. And that's also where movement can come in. So, movement isn't just about exercise or staying fit. As I've been saying, it's a powerful tool for mental health, often overlooked. When we move, especially in those mindful, intentional ways, we access those stored emotions. We begin to unlock the files, so to speak. So that's twofold. Unlocking the harmful emotions can start to release tension in the body, and it can also create some confusion for the client. Those aren't all good feelings. So as those emotions are being unlocked, it's also important to unlock the satisfying emotions as well. So a whole body approach to dive through and integrate all the emotions through curious, playful, intentional movement experiences. So unlocking the emotions, discovering new emotions, and then feeding the nervous system with the movements that make us feel complete, happy, safe, successful, repeating those movements frequently until that is the new habit, the new state of the body, is to be in that more happy, safe, and successful state of being. So, your brain does ultimately want what's best for you. If given the opportunity to experience it, giving your brain that opportunity to experience the different options, it will choose what's best for you. So again, your brain can be rewired by exploring those options. It's possible to rewire your brain at any age, so never too late to start. So let's just kind of pause and get you moving a little bit. I invite you to try an experiment with me. So stand up if you'd like, or if you prefer to stay sitting, that's fine. And just kind of slump over, tighten your fists, tighten your face, and pause there for a moment. And notice how that makes you feel. Can you breathe easily? Do you feel happy? Is it easy to feel happy in this position? Maybe even walk around a little bit. Can you breathe while you're in that state of being? Does this feel like a familiar position? All right, so now stop, open your hands, stand up tall. Notice how it's easier to breathe, relax your face, release the tension, and notice the difference in your mood. Is it easy to feel happy now? Yeah, so now come back to your chair. Right, so our mood can affect our posture, our body, our tension, our muscle tension, or our posture and muscles can affect our mood. Two-way street there. In the demo we just did, we can consider those fists as a constraint. After doing that for a long time, days, weeks, months, years, those constraints become ingrained in your body, in your nervous system, in your brain. And, after days, weeks, months, years of that, a person can start to suffer physically and mentally. This can happen over time, like I said, days, years, months, or it can happen immediately, especially in the case of severe abuse or trauma. It can just be an instant reflex or an instant ingraining of that stress pattern that gets buried into a corner. And it's just waiting for some gentle movement to take place to rewire that brain, to release the constraints of those stored emotions. So keeping in mind, by engaging in these gentle movements, we're not just moving our bodies, we're retraining the nervous system. You're rewiring your brain, teaching your body that it's safe to relax, safe to let go, that it can heal on an emotional and physical level. So I was so excited when my client came in and told me that she had just begun using a dating app. So this is a woman who had been abused by her parents. She had been abused by two husbands. Her psychotherapist sent her to me because they just weren't getting deep enough with the talk therapy, their words. And my client had children to care for. She was afraid to be alone, but also afraid to be intimate or to really get close to anybody. But with my respectful, gentle guidance, she was able to feel more comfortable within herself. She gained a sense of improved self-esteem as her posture improved, an improved sense of strength as her self-organization improved through the movement process that I brought her through. And we were able to get her eventually to feel that those emotions were unstuck and integrating the feelings that were good. The whole system was just starting to change beautifully. And like I said, she felt safe to go onto that dating app, and it was just an amazing experience. She looked like a totally different person by this time. She was standing upright, she was confident, she was smiling. So the mind-body connection is at the heart of why the movement can be so transformative for mental health. Whether you're dealing with anxiety or depression or trauma, or just simply the everyday stresses of life. So let's go back. We just talked about trauma, but let's go back to stress again. Let's just talk about more the average daily stress. If you want to do another exercise with me, we can move along together. Imagine you're sitting at your desk and your boss walks up to you and starts yelling. She's uptight, she's angry, there's a deadline, she's yelling at you, she's stressed, you're starting to take on her stress. So as you're imagining that scene, notice how you're sitting in your chair as you're picturing this. Notice how you're sitting. Notice what you're feeling. What is your posture like? She's yelling at you, she's rushing, she's angry. Okay, so notice that. And now we're going to begin to do some movement. Sitting in your chair, begin to do a movement of looking up with your head and eyes and getting taller. So you're lengthening your back. If you're comfortable doing this movement, we're just doing a small movement. It's not stretching. Looking up as you get taller, and then you're going to slouch downward and bring your head and eyes down. And then become taller. Look up with your head and eyes. Come down. If it's hard to move, you can scoot towards the edge of your chair a little bit more so you're not sitting all the way back. Looking up, and just notice how your body changes shape as you're doing the movement, bringing your awareness to this intentional, slow movement, gentle. Okay, and then pause for a bit. Notice how you're sitting now. And now we're going to do some rewiring of the brain to release constraints of stress, of mental and physical stress, potentially. So the opposite now, as you're getting taller, you're going to look down with your head and your eyes. And then as you slouch, getting shorter, look up with your head and your eyes. So you're taller. We're going to go back and forth. Chin and head and eyes come down. Slouch, look up with your head and eyes. Get taller and look down with your head and eyes. Go ahead and do that a few times. Okay, and then stop, pause. Notice how you're sitting now. Do you feel more stable? Do you feel different in any way? Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's more subtle. The great thing about this work is that we don't always have to be conscious about it. The subconscious is rewiring constantly in the background. And then let's go back to the original movement. You're looking up, you're getting taller, eyes and head go up. Slouching, getting shorter, eyes and head come down, back and forth. Sometimes people notice during this coming back to the original movement that movement's a bit easier, smoother, looser. And as you make that smaller, gradually coming to a stop, pausing again. Take a breath and notice what it's like to be sitting now. And now come back to imagining that your boss is yelling at you. And notice, can you find this sense of new posture, of more solidity, of a sense of ease? As you're imagining that yelling, can you stay grounded in that new sense of ease and stability and mobility? So I should point out that I have a set of several exercises to share with you, a series of gentle movements to keep you calm and collected. I'm going to paste that in the chat box right now, the link to that. And if you have added that paste, let me just make sure here. Okay. So the first 10 people to click on that box, the fast action takers, are going to get a one-on-one session with me where we will individualize a plan, or we can just chat about what your health goals are and what you have going on in your life. And you'll have these otherwise these great exercises that you can do. I have multiple exercises that you can do anytime, anywhere, the comfort of your own home, on the bus, at work. So definitely take advantage of that for you or a loved one or a friend. It doesn't have to just be for you. I'm fine to let you share. All right, so now that we've experienced a taste of that mindful movement, I just want to dive into the specific approach that I use in my work. It's called the Feldenkrais method, and it's not exactly necessary that you know the name, but there are more people out there now looking for practitioners. So I did want to mention that I do that. People get excited when they find us because there's not that many of us. So Dr. Feldenkrais, Dr. Moshe Feldenkrais, he in the mid-1900s developed the method. It was a unique approach to body awareness. He had injured his knee, and there was not much hope for him in the early and mid-1900s to successfully recover from surgery. Being a physicist and a judo master and a researcher, he instead created a method around himself to regain his functioning and eventually taught that to other people. But his journey started way early. When he was a boy, he lost his voice because his father yelled at him. So there's the mental health aspect. He got yelled at. He lost his voice. He couldn't talk. And again, he was an avid researcher even back then. The man was a genius. So I should say the boy was a genius too. So he found Emile Couillet's book, a psychotherapist from the 1800s, on autosuggestion. So Dr. Feldenkrais, not yet a doctor, says to himself, takes the advice of this psychotherapist, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. Many of us have heard this saying before. So repeating that every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. So using that mindset and some other visualizations, he did gain his voice back. Right? So early on, he learned that mindset and visualization are important. Later on, as a young man, he incorporated the movement into his system of clarifying and optimizing the self-image. So just a great collection of movement, visualization, and mindset for a powerful embodied self-presence. The method is based on the principle of the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. So this is known as neuroplasticity, big word, or in simple terms, you can teach a dog, an old dog, new tricks. You know, the saying that once we're old, our brain can't change. Well, that's a myth. And that's where, again, this movement comes in with rewiring the brain, changing the brain, learning new tricks on a conscious and a subconscious level. And it's been proven by doing gentle, precise movements with directed attention that we can actually train our brain to move efficiently with greater ease and retain that with practice, with repetition. The more we repeat in the beginning, the less we have to do later. It does become ingrained. It does rewire. And then there's just those little reminders every now and then when we find ourselves getting off kilter. What sets the Feldenkrais method apart is from other methods is that it focuses on the awareness, the exploration, rather than repetition or using force. So you saw I was leading you through very gentle movements so that the body can learn and reprogram. Sometimes the movements are bigger, not always. We cultivate curiosity about the movements and about the sensations. And this approach is what makes it accessible to people of all ages and physical abilities. By creating these new pathways in your brain, you're not just changing how you move, you're changing how you think and how you feel. So something that can be very powerful dealing with trauma, chronic stress, really any kind of mental health conflictions. And it's just a really gentle way to reconnect with the body to begin a healing process. So, again, remembering this isn't about achieving perfect form or pushing through pain. It's about exploration, curiosity, listening to the body. And it does look like my link is staying in the chat box. So remember to grab that gift if you're interested in helping yourself or someone you love. Okay, so recapping the results, really defining these results for you. First and foremost, many people report an immediate sense of calmness after a Feldenkrais session, a direct result of activating the rest and digest nervous system that we discussed earlier. People notice their breathing becomes easier and deeper naturally, which also is great physiologically for the body. Another common experience is feeling more grounded, more present in your body. As you become more aware of your physical sensations, you may find yourself feeling more at home in your own skin. The increased body awareness leads to better posture, more efficient movement, flexibility, improved strength, being able to do more things that you love in life. And one of the most profound benefits and kind of the lesser obvious ones is that it helps you make decisions. It really enhances the decision-making ability. By tuning into your body's sensations and responses, you develop a stronger sense of confidence as you learn how to move more freely. So this teaches you how to make decisions using your body's wisdom as a guide which can be, of course, particularly helpful when dealing with emotional or stressful situations. Many people report the improved self-esteem. As I mentioned, my client earlier who had suffered so much abuse but was able to return to dating after working with me. As you become more attuned to your body and learn to move with greater ease, you often develop a more positive relationship with yourself. So that self-esteem is really nurtured with that self-care. So whether for mental health or physical health, regular practice can contribute to the reduced symptoms of pain. As far as mental health, the reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression. And of course, our mental health is going to be better the better we feel physically. So great for stress management, the combination of mindful movement, improved body awareness, and activation of that relaxation response helps to regulate your mood and provides tools for managing stress. I was talking to a client last week. She's been taking my classes for 2 years, and once a week, at least sometimes 4 times a week, sometimes just once a week over the 2 years. And she said, Jennifer, I am just so amazed at how good my mental health is. I just have felt so great. I'm not doing anything else. It's just 1 hour a week, 1 to 4 times a month. And it's just amazing how much better I'm feeling. And I thought, well, wow, what great timing. I'm just about to give a speech about mental health. Thank you for sharing that. So, just to show you some persistence, even if it's not every day. In the beginning, she was spending more time with it, and then it became ingrained. The brain was rewired. So as we're nearing the end of our session today, I just wanted to, make sure that I'm really emphasizing enough the profound effect of the mindful movement and the effect that it can have on mental and emotional well-being. We've explored our bodies, how they store emotions and trauma, and that kind of filed away, and how the Feldenkrais method can help release those stored tensions, how it can rewire our brain, and the numerous benefits this practice can bring to your life. And then just remember, I want to point out that the journey to better mental health doesn't have to involve intense therapy sessions or medication. Now, those certainly have their place sometimes, though the gentlest approaches can yield the most powerful results by tuning into the body, moving with awareness, and activating the parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system. We can create the shifts. Not everybody likes to rehash verbally what's gone on in their life. And with this approach, it can be very nonverbal with profound effects. So I encourage each of you to incorporate some of this mindful movement into your daily routine, which is why I'm offering you this video gift. It doesn't have to be long or complicated. I've provided several different movements. Some are very short, some are a bit longer. Just pay attention to how you feel before and after. Notice the subtle changes in your body, your breath, your mood. And remember that this is a practice of curiosity and exploration. It's not a practice of perfection. So be patient with yourself as you learn to listen to your body's wisdom. And over time, you'll find that this practice not only helps you manage stress and emotional challenges, but also enhances your overall sense of well-being, your connection with yourself. Your body will change, your posture, your mobility, agility. Very important, especially for those dealing with depression, anxiety, trauma, PTSD, or other mental health challenges. So I highly recommend trying this either on its own or as a complement to what other mental health therapies or treatments you're pursuing. And I thank you for your attention and participation today. I hope you're leaving with some new appreciation for the power of movement in maintaining mental health. And I'll appreciate those fast action people who come in and want some extra help. I'm so happy to help you to, whether it's me or giving you ideas as to whether we're a good fit or not. I'm always happy to talk. And I love this method. I think it's great. I endorse it for everybody, for
Yeah.
sure.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your
Thanks. You're welcome.
fantastic
Yeah,
presentation. We
thank
really
you.
enjoyed thoroughly the presentation of yours. Thank you so much for joining Virtual Summit 2024. Please do join other speaker sessions. Thank you and bye bye.
Thank you for those comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.